unboxing 44? You tell me we've only done 44 unboxings?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another unboxing. It's going to be a special one with me and the madman Adrian.
Why am I mad?
I don't know, just a new thing I came up with. Madman Adrian. We got a one-of-a-kind AP that was made specifically for a very famous F1 driver. We have a Paddock that's out of this world, along with some other special goodies, so stay tuned. We're live. First and foremost, Nina, I have to show everybody the outfit. You know, we do these outfit checks, but Nina never gets so 1982, I believe, was the year. Yes, definitely 1982, Nina. We got a couple of special ones for you today, Instagram. We have a AP that is made for a very famous F1 driver, one of. We have a Paddock that's completely out of this world. We'll show that last. We'd like to save the best for last, but we've also got some special goodies. I'm gonna start with Adrian. What do you got?
So, great things come in small brown boxes.
They're not that small. Like, you know, like, I feel like they're like a medium.
It's a saying, Roman. Behind door number one.
That would be this watch. And that box would then be empty. It's a Patek 5800 Nautilus.
Do tell, Roman. What is so special about the 5800?
Well, actually, it's the son or the daughter of the Patek 3800, the more modern version of a Patek 3800. Same size, obviously newer movement, updated case, updated bracelet. These are actually quite rare. They're much rarer than that of the 5711 because they made a lot less of these than they did of a 5711. And then the 5800 is the only thing I can say about them is go try to find one, right? Like actually find one that's full set, box papers.
Oh, I know where to look.
LuxuryBazaar.com. Shameless plug. This is right up your alley right here.
Why is it up my alley? Golf? You could talk about this. It's a Roman buy.
It's a Roman buy. This is the Royal Loke Nick Faldo edition. I like to go back to the days where I used to get really cool and really cool that came with it. So the Nick Faldo watch actually came with a signed gold bag, an Audemars Piguet, green, AP livery everywhere, gold bag signed by Nick Faldo, and this is the actual watch. It's extremely rare to be able to find the whole full set.
Why don't you just point out the most important thing about this watch?
The dial?
The bezel.
The bezel.
Yeah, platinum bezel.
Yeah.
So this watch, no platinum bezel. This watch, platinum bezel, it's a winner, in my opinion.
I like the dial. I also have to show you the back of the watch. It's an automatic. Where's Marco when you need him? So the Nick Faldo, they're pretty rare. I don't remember how many of them were made, so don't ask. Let's move right along. What else you got?
Panerai. For the Paneristas. I've been buying up a lot of Panerais lately.
They sell. They sell pretty well.
Yep. What we paid.
What's the PAM number? It's the PAM. I'll tell you. It says it right here. PAM. I can't read that. You had LASIK.
PAM 605.
It's the PAM 605.
Oh my God.
The most special thing. The most special about this. First of all, I like the throwback, the retro strap. But the most special about the thing about the 605 is the dial. Yes. You got to zoom in on this dial because this dial is just. I mean, it's a large watch that I can still get away with due to the design of the lugs and the way the strap hooks the wrist. You know when you have a small wrist is when you put on a watch and the straps just go down like this.
Is that what she said?
Yeah. You know.
I can't help it. Every single time a Panerai comes in and I try it on, who's the first person you think of? 100%.
Who?
Stallone. Every single time I put a Panerai on, it's like,
honestly the very first person I think of when I put on a Panerai is my old friend O.J. Watley from Watch.
As a matter of fact,
he put him on a map.
What did you have? You had a PAM 90 back in the day, the white one?
No, that was a PAM 186.
PAM 186. When I first met Roman,
it was a daylight white dial is what that was, and you forgot the condom. Adrian, do tell us about this.
That's a 5167R.
We already knew that, but
what else do you want to know about it?
I want to know where this is, and I also want to know, in terms of preference, the 5168G, the blue and the green versus the 67 and rose.
Well, it's two completely different things. You have, first off, they're white gold and a much bigger case size. They're jumbos, right? 5167R. I mean, it's one of those watches that's universal for all wrists. I mean, it's a perfect fit, perfect feel. You have the perfect amount of luxury and sport all at the same time. You have a precious metal on rose gold, and it's just so clean.
If you had to choose one.
If I had to choose one between 5168 or 5167?
Blue or green or this rose?
Ooh. I'm not a big fan of the 51. It's not that I don't like the 5168s. I like the 5168s, but I prefer them in a chrono. I prefer the 5968s in that case size for whatever reason. I just think the 5168, there's too much real estate.
It's too big and too plain?
There's too much it's plain Jane. That's plain Jane as well.
I'm gonna go with the 5164R because size-wise,
well,
I think
that wasn't
perfect.
an option.
What do you mean?
Why are you throwing options that didn't exist? You said 5168,
67, I'm sorry. I'm going with the 5167 when it comes to the plain one. And I agree with you on the chrono, on the bigger one.
Yeah. Oh man, I love this.
Oh wait, market price on that. Where's that? Where was that? How is it now?
So 5167R at the peak of the market, let's call it February, were upwards of 125,000. Today they can be found under 100. But so between 80 to 100 pending conditions. However, Patek Philippe is doing a retail price increase.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say that this is a good-looking ladies' Paddock, because in that department, Paddock is like most companies, I would say, but. You know,
you think so?
When they originally did the ladies' Nautilus, remember it was the white dial with the diamond bezel, and it was a blue dial with diamond. The watch was bland; it didn't pop.
7118.
Yeah, the reason I like this a lot. Which one is this? This is the
7118. This is the bigger case size.
This is the bigger.
You're
case.
talking
I'm
about
talking about the older ones.
You're talking about the older ones.
The older ones.
Yeah.
They had them without diamonds, which is
7010.
they were just ugly. Yeah. But if you ask ladies out there, if anybody's watching, look at the dial on this. Look at how the dial pops. Look how the diamond bezel now all of a sudden works with what's seemingly a plain sporty steel watch. So I think with this, I actually like this. I actually like this better than the gold ones. I would go with this over a rose gold version, especially the white dial.
So you're saying you would actually wear that?
I'm not saying I would actually wear that.
You said you would go for it, and therefore
I would probably give it to my significant other.
Yeah. So let Anna.
Let Anna decide. No, but rose gold white dial, to me, those things are too plain. I feel like anytime you make a rose gold watch, the dial should be darker because a dark color.
They make a darker color.
I know, but the white ones, I think they're a waste of real estate. I think they should have never made them in white.
Wow.
Here's a Richard Mille that doesn't cost a Lambo. There is a way to actually buy a deal from Richard Mille, believe it or not, and those are going to be the oddball shapes, the rounds. It's going to be the rectangular ones, the ultra flats, and anything that's round. And one of the most favorite things I love about the RM28, which is their diver's plain watch, is the fact that it's a humongous watch that a guy with a tiny wrist can wear.
100%.
Ergonomics of this watch are absolutely insane. Whoever was designing this case, and whenever they were designing this case, they knocked it out of the park. And seemingly one of the least popular Richard Mille's, but for some reason, well, not for some reason, I know why they sell out like hotcakes, is because where else are you going to go to buy a gold Richard Mille for around 100 grand? You know, I will take, like the 33 and this is like such night and day. 33 is so small, but I can actually wear this. It's comfortable. It has a nice weight to it, but it's not too heavy, and it's affordable. It's a fantastic looking watch.
The 28s to 32s, and the 32s are behemoths, you know, from
and
afar.
even those we can wear.
Moving right along.
See, my favorite things come in small green boxes. Adrian?
Yeah, 15500, ST Black. They have now come down to planet Earth. So.
And where's that number at now?
So you can pick up 15500 Black's pending condition anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 today.
As opposed to 60 to 70?
As opposed to double that.
It is a lot. It is a lot. The retail is what, 28?
25. Well, listen, you're walking out the boutique, you're spending almost 30 because I think the retail's like 26.
But then you're also buying a couple other pieces along with it, and so in reality, by the time you're done, it is costing you 70 or 80. This, ladies and gentlemen, if you remember a while back when we started our new campaign at watchesforgood.org, we had a gentleman that donated an IWC. Mm-hmm. He's now reached out to Nino and asked if he could also donate this tutor. So we have to figure out a creative way to auction this off. Maybe we'll do it on our Facebook group again or somewhere where all the proceeds are going to go to watchesforgood.org once again. And this is the second watch. This is the second watch this gentleman has donated. And his name slipped my mind. I apologize. I do have the email, and I'm just terrible with names, but I will do a completely separate shout out on this. But this watch is a donation for watchesforgood.org. For those of you guys that are new to this and don't know what watchesforgood.org is, it's a charity organization that we are a part of, that my friend Nino started, and I came on board as the CEO. And up to date, we have raised around $350,000 in our last campaign.
Save the manatees soon?
What's that?
Are we going to save the manatees?
Hey, if that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. What happened to these two boxes that were here?
Huh? Marco,
what are you doing? 2008, Audemars Piguet made a watch to commemorate the Singapore Grand Prix F1, right? It was a limited edition of, don't quote me, I believe 100 pieces. If you remember, that watch had that distinct red dial. It had a distinct distinct strap with the red stitching and so on and so forth. Well, in 2008, for those of you that follow one, it was Mr. Fernando Alonso.
He's still driving.
When he won that Grand Prix, Audemars Piguet decided to make a watch for him, a watch that's not a limited edition. It's a piece unique, a one-off, something that's presented. Once in a blue moon, I do come across watches that were presented to somebody, usually famous, right? Like we had the Roman Sharp edition last week, but from Seiko, I believe, right?
Yeah. When I was missing the crown?
Yeah, that one. With that said, every so often they do make a watch that's a unique watch, and sometimes those watches make it out of the market. The way that usually happens is whoever received it gave it as a gift to somebody else, and then later somebody turns around and sells it. There's no price on a watch like this. Unfortunately, for those of you that may be interested, this watch is already spoken for by one of our existing clients, but I figured I need to show you this because if you look at the watch, it literally says his name and number and 2008 right on the outer bezel. It is slightly different. The tachymeter scale on this watch is that yellowish, I don't know, almost like a faded color. If you look at the original Singapore Grand Prix AP, it is slightly different. But this is some of the stuff we come across too. I think the last thing I came across that was just as special as this was the End of Days that Arnold Schwarzenegger actually wore in the movie End of Days.
I got one for you while we're here and we're talking about limited edition offshores.
What you got?
Give me a list right now off the top of your head. 5 favorite limited edition offshores. Shoot.
5 favorite limited edition offshores. I'm going to start with the one that started it all for me, Montoya. Montoya. Well, here's the thing. The one that started it all for me was the titanium Montoya, which I bought the first one for $14,000. Then I bought it for 17, then 19, then 22, and it went all the way up to 35. Number one, but it's not the titanium Montoya that I'm going to choose. It's going to be the rose gold Montoya because looks-wise, it was the rose gold Montoya that really did it for me. Again, that rose gold black combo, everything about the watch.
The ultimate Russian from Brooklyn watch.
No, the pride of Russia was Montoya.
So rose gold Montoya is number one.
Rose gold Montoya for me would be number one.
All right.
I am then going to go.
Why don't I go one? You go ahead. One, you go. My favorite limited edition offshore of all time is going to be the AP Carbon Ginza at number one. It's like that all black carbon AP that they're just dying, that they just need to make again. And with that little subtle diamond 7, it's the best.
And I'm going to jump to the Grand Prix. And I'm going to tell you the Platinum Grand Prix
is unwearable.
It is unwearable.
Completely
but from
unwearable.
a looks perspective, that's a watch that traded as high as $135,000 in the high market. The blue dial on that watch popped so much that it was the most amazing dial AP has ever done. So I'm going to go Platinum Grand Prix. What do you got?
It's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Lebron James.
Okay.
What you laughing about? You have no idea what that was when that dropped.
Let's not start an argument between Marco and
the color combination of the Lebron James with the silver and the rose gold was the best, aesthetically the best looking offshore in my opinion.
Do you put it on its leather strap or rubber?
Rubber.
Rubber strap.
Rubber all day.
And I'm gonna go with the Biblos, aka the Summer Edition offshore.
Ooh, go on.
Which on a white watch or a different color watch, that was probably one of the best looking combos out there. It's either that, which is rose and white.
It's a Summer Edition with the Biblos on the back.
But it's whatever it is, right? But it's either that or, if we're going gold and white, or if I'm going white, I'm going Pride of CM as well.
Okay, well you just picked 2.
Well, it's either or.
Okay, so at number 3, I'm going to go with the original AP Barrichello 1.
Well, for those of you that know, the original, so Barrichello, they did a trilogy like everything else. They did the Montoya trilogy, then they did the Barrichello trilogy. Barrichello, they did a trilogy, but they also did the Barrichello 257 to commemorate the 257.
Yeah, that was the Barrichello 3.
That was the Barrichello 3, but the Barrichello 1 was nothing more than a regular stainless steel rubber clad with a colorful dial, and the dial represented.
Dial was beautiful.
That's they did a bare minimum on that one. Yeah. And that watch was a dog for quite a while, and now good luck finding one. Like that's one that got away. So it's one I wish I would have kept. I gotta give a shout out to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is the quintessential, the top number 1 ambassador AP has ever had. He was the longest running ambassador. He had over 20 watches made for him. And out of the 20 watches, if I really had to pick one, I think I'm gonna go with a watch I cannot wear, and that's going to be No, it's not. I'm still gonna go with the End of Days. The End of Days to me is iconic in a way that it was the first limited edition offshore made by Audemars Piguet #1. Not only was it the first limited edition offshore, if you think about the fact that back then PVD watches were not even a thing and everybody's like, what the hell is this, right? If you think about the fact that it had 2 straps, one of it being a Velcro strap, right? And if you think about just the yellow, the pop of yellow against the dark black PVD case and black dial, it was very avant-garde at the time. And that's why, from the Schwarzenegger lineup, I gotta go with the first and the best, which is the End of Days. One more. Nautilus. I'm gonna go with Nautilus. We got one, no?
I know.
It's in service.
We do.
I would go with the
Nautilus because of the color scheme.
Color scheme, right? It's those dark grays
with the reds,
to include the bezels and the reds. It's just everything about that is like it was like the perfect color scheme. Not very many made, and you know, made for Nautilus. Just look, the amount of ambassadors in these limited editions that AP has made, they've chosen extremely well. Yeah. Back when they were doing it, I think they were better than even Richard Mille. You know, Richard Mille picks great ambassadors, but I think AP blows anybody out of the water, and that's due to Mr. Francois.
Well, since you picked the Arnold Schwarzenegger, me, I guess I have to pick something else now. Just for a topic of conversation, for Kyle popping up another watch from the screen, I'd probably have to go with the Platinum Schumacher.
I've always had a hard time. I can tell you what my least favorite was.
Titanium's my least favorite.
No, for me it was the Rose that was the least favorite. No. For me it was always a toss-up between the Platinum and
Platinum
the
is the best looking one, although it's pretty unwearable unless you have a big wrist.
Again, it's unwearable because it's heavy.
Yeah, well,
right?
It's big.
And it's not that big, but it's comparable to size to the Montoya and everybody else. But anything in Platinum is going to be heavy as hell, and that's really the biggest issue. So last but not least, and special. You know, we show you guys see us getting Nautiluses all day, every day. We got one in today and the other day, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But what you don't see is us getting in extremely special Nautiluses, and it does escalate quickly in terms of price and rarity when it comes to the stone encrusted Nautilus. In this case, this would be the sapphire in platinum. So you see a sapphire Piguet bezel with this watch. You also see sapphire markers, a slightly different dial that's not on a regular 5711. And let's talk about just how rare and how expensive these things get and how.
Well, listen, from the standpoint of rare, I mean, you have to be one of Paddock's absolute VIP clients to even be considered for something like this. For me,
and even then, you probably don't get it.
For me personally, it's just a matter. Listen, they make this with sapphire bezel. They make it with a ruby bezel. They make it with a regular baguette bezel, and they also make it with an emerald bezel. Now, the emerald bezel is the one that fetches the most money because of the actual consumer for the emeralds will pay such a premium. That being the Saudis.
That being Saudi Arabia, that being Middle East.
Thing. So one is not necessarily more valuable than the other, but general rule of thumb, usually the emerald set, 5711 platinums, bring the most money.
But that goes for the perpetual chronos.
Emeralds.
Emeralds. That goes for anything that has the baguette bezels. Emeralds are going to be the top, and then followed by ruby, sapphire, then diamond.
Kevin Hart had this watch, so hopefully so. Shout out Kevin Hart for.
Do you know what the actual original retail on these?
I don't know what.
I'm
not even sure.
I think they were around 200,000.
Yeah, something like
around
that.
200,000 in platinum.
Yep.
And the secondary market on these?
So this example like this with a sapphire bezel climbed upwards of 1.2 to 1.3 million dollars.
It's a heavy watch, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's platinum.
Yeah.
From all sports silhouette pieces out there, Nautilus for me is the most, it's not that it's the most iconic, it's my favorite out of, let's say, the Royal Oak or anything like that. Nautilus is my favorite. Then you have something as rare as this from my favorite brand, also in platinum gem set. This what you're looking at for me is an absolute grail, which hopefully one day, if I work hard enough,
and here's the thing.
I'll get myself.
And here's the thing is that this is not flashy. It's for those that know. A sapphire bezel, even the emerald is more flashy. Obviously the diamond one is better. The ruby one is very flashy. But the sapphire one, I think, is the most low-key one in terms of flash. It's very subdued. It's not as flashy.
Good word, Roman. Subdued.
And it's expensive as all hell.
Very expensive.
So, with that said, Instagram, YouTube, we wanted to thank you for tuning in into an unboxing that turned into us picking limited edition Offshores. How did that even come about?
I don't even know. I was just
YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe to all those great things that help us grow. Instagram, thanks for tuning in once again. We'll see you guys soon.